Hello there. I am so happy you're here to learn about how we navigate the Cancer Champion site when it comes to nutrition. So we're going to talk about nutrition only today. Just really quickly, as you can see, when you go to your dashboard, so if you are on and you want to always go back to kind of home, you could just hit dashboard. So that'll bring you right here. And here you will see that you could go straight to workout videos, or you could scroll over to go to recipes. This is a survey that we would love for you to take so we'd learn how we can do better for you. And then finally, it's going to show you your recently viewed workouts and your recently viewed recipes. So this is a nice little start for just understanding the dashboard. So then moving over to nutrition, why we are here, the first thing I'm going to do is take you through recipes. So I will begin by saying sometimes it takes a little while for it to load. And the reason it takes so long is because there are so many recipes. There's over 400 recipes. And so when you first log on, you are going to see all the recipes that you've recently looked at, every single one of them. And this is kind of a random sorting, and it could may also be things that we've selected that we thought you might like. And then here you are able to sort by the random order like it is right now, or the newest recipes to oldest. So this is our whole folder of every recipe we have. And if you wanted to look at like the newest that we've just added, you're like, hi, I know the site really well, but I want to see what the most recent recipes that they've added are. And that'll take you to the newest ones. And then vice versa, you could do the oldest. Also, you can sort from A to Z if you're just kind of wanting to look for something in the A's and you don't want to search around. Now, there are other great ways to search um, for recipes. And I'm going to take you first to filters. So when we go to our filters, you're going to see that you can search by recipe name. So if, say, one of our team or your coach had said, oh, there's a really great salmon recipe I think you should try, you can come here and type in salmon and search for that. And any recipe that has salmon in it is going to populate. I'm going to also show you that you can, from here, you can close out the filter box and then see where the filter box covers up these here. So you're able to see all of the salmon recipes. As you can see, we have quite a few. And then going back to filters, another little tidbit I want to share is that if I was to go from salmon over to ingredients and selected an ingredient, say for instance, what would be something that probably would not have it would be like, say, let's just say adobo. You're going to see that it takes it to no recipes because we're looking for salmon with adobo. So instead of that happening, you're going to want to go here and reset your filters. So it gets rid of anything you've put in prior to. You can stack if you want to. So if you did want to find salmon and say arugula, excuse me, you could look and see if there is a recipe with that. So as I showed you, we can search by ingredients. So for instance, if you come into the kitchen and you see that you have an avocado on the kitchen and you're like on the counter and you're thinking, I want to make something with avocados. I've got an avocado here, I want to use it. You just select avocado and again, close out of the filter box. And then here we have every recipe that we have, including the avocado brownies, which I will tell you are amazing. There's all kinds of great recipes with avocados in there. So going back to our filter button, I'm going to go ahead and reset, take you to courses. So you're just looking for breakfast. Also, I will note that we have smoothies as a course because there are so many smoothie recipes, and smoothies can be used for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So it becomes its own course to make it a little bit easier to navigate. Same thing with snacks and soups and stews. So they get their own area. So if I'm looking for breakfasts, put that in and it'll give me every breakfast we have. Now, a nice little addition is, like I said, if you want breakfast, but you want like just say a certain fruit in there, like bananas, then it's going to give you, it'll bring it down to what they have, what we have breakfast wise with bananas. So again, coming back over here, resetting the filters and moving to cuisine. So you can see all the different cuisines we have. I will note if there is a cuisine that you would like us to have on here that we don't have listed, please feel free to reach out and let us know, because this is how we get better. We find out what you guys all want and then we add. So let's say Caribbean, for example. We'll come here. Any recipe that's considered from the Caribbean will be found here. Okay, going back over to filters, resetting our filters. Finally, keyword options. So this is really great if you have dietary restrictions. So here you will see anti-nausea, which a lot of people going through cancer are needing are going through chemo, excuse me, need the anti-nausea. There's tons of great recipes under anti-nausea. Calorie dense for those that are trying to put some weight on. Dairy free, those of you that have allergies, gluten free, grain free, high fiber, high protein, both very commonly asked for recipes, or often your nutrition team will say to you, try to increase your protein, try to increase your fiber. There are ways, this is a great way to do that. Again, nut-free, all of the allergies are taken into consideration here, and vegan and vegetarian. So this is a great way for those of you that have dietary restrictions to learn how to, or to sort through and sort through all of the things that you cannot have and take it down to the things that you can. Okay? Now, moving on, our next menu item is meal plans. So the meal plans are great for those of you that are like, I just need to be told what to have for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. Now, again, anti-nausea, because we have so many members that have trouble with nausea, we have a whole meal plan for that. Healthy weight gain, same thing, that's common, weight loss during the cancer journey. Um, Mediterranean, healthy eating plan. So just sometimes it's just like, I just want to eat better. I don't have a lot of restrictions. The healthy meat eating plan is a great one for that. Mediterranean, probably the most commonly suggested way of eating from the nutrition team. So if we were to click on the Mediterranean meal plan, you will see that it gives you options for breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. So you could take this and mix and match and come up with your weekly meal plan and shop for those exactly. So that is our options for meal plans. Next, I want to show you demonstrations. So if you're like me, I love to actually see people making the meals. So here, you'll see these are all food demonstrations, and we're always adding, just so you know, and we're going to be doing more live. Here you will see the breakdown of how to make each of these recipes. So kind of a fun little thing to look at. Growing your own sprouts, highly recommend it. Such a great way to get a lot of really, really great micronutrients in, and they're so healthy and so easy to do. Okay, moving on. We have a recipe blog. So now the recipe blog is slightly different in that it shows, here is where, say for instance, you saw on Instagram or Facebook or one of our social medias a certain recipe and you're like, gosh, I really want to try that. They all get put into our recipe blog. So that's where you're going to see the recipe blog. Going back to our nutrition. So the recipe blog, just so you know, also it can be found just on our homepage on our Cancer Champion. So it's not where our community has access, but anyone has access. So you could look there as well. And then our nutrition FAQs. So here are commonly asked questions. And I would suggest highly, if we don't have one of the questions that you have, please always feel free to message us, hello@cancerchampions.org, and let us know what your question is. Or you can talk to your coach mentor if you have one and ask them to help you out with that. Now I'm going to go over to favorites. So these are my favorites. You each have your own within your dashboard your own favorites. So if I come down to my favorite recipes here, these are just a few of mine, then this is going to help you when you're just like, I know my go-to for me, my go-to in the morning is the tropical sunshine smoothie. It's my favorite way to start my day. Another one is the almond butter banana steel cut oats. Such a good for me pre-workout. I really love that too. Um, this is also where if you have a program or do a call with one of our team members and we talk through nutrition and you say to us, listen, I'm vegan, I'm trying to put some weight on, and I really, really don't like bananas, then we would put together a meal plan for you and we will put those into your favorites for you. So you don't have to think further than just looking at your favorites when we've done a call with you and we're going to make some recommendations. Now, if you don't like what we've recommended, you can just hit the remove button and off it goes. And when you do find a recipe that you do like, you just favorite it. So if I was to go back over to recipes and load that up, and I go to, and I'm like, gosh, there was that one recipe I tried that I really, really enjoyed. It happens to be the crispy baked tofu, which is actually so nutrient dense, and you should try it. It's delicious. And then I would just save it as a favorite. So then that will now be in my favorite. So if I want to go back to recipes, I don't have to. I can scroll right back over to my favorites. And when that pops up, I will now have this recipe added to my favorites. So there we go. That's everything hopefully you could ever want to know about the nutrition part of this. And then know that you can do that. We have the same for fitness and for mindset and for live calls.